Lesson 2-3 is about proportions. A proportion is just an equation that states two ratios are equivalent. In other words, we can have two fractions that are equivalent. They would reduce to the same fractions. So we're going to solve a couple of proportions for example 1. So 9 over 15 is equivalent to m over 5. And we want to know the value of m. So we can cross multiply. M times 15 is 15m. And 9 times 5 is 45. To get m by itself, we're going to undo 15 times m by dividing both sides by 15. And 45 divided by 15 is 3, so we get m is 3. For B part, 4 over 10 equals 6 over w. 10 times 6 is 60. 4 times w is 4w. We want to get w by itself, so we'll divide both sides by 4. 4w divided by 4w would just be 1w, which we can just write as w. And 60 divided by 4 is 15. Example 2, we're given a table with the side length x and the perimeter y of a couple different regular hexagons. And we want to know if the relationship between the side length and the perimeter of regular hexagons, whether this is proportional. So we could start by just comparing these. I'm going to compare the perimeter y to the side length x. And I'm going to do this because later we're going to use a special relationship with y over x. So let's just go ahead and get the habit. We're going to write these as y over x. So for the first hexagon, using y over x, we've got y is 12 over x is 2. And that relationship is 6 over 1, or 6 to 1. Let's compare it to the next hexagon. Here, we have a perimeter y of 18, a side length x of 3, and that ends up being 6 to 1, or 6. So we're getting the same number these reduced to, so it appears to be proportional. Or we could have done it this way. We could have said 12 over 2 is it equal to 18 over 3. Well, I could just see that they both equal 6. So yes. So it is proportional. So is the relationship proportional? Yes. For example 3, we're given a table about a hummingbird's wing beats. We're given the number of seconds and the number of beats that occur in those seconds in the table above. And so we want to know if this is a proportional relationship. So we could go through and check out each of these as fractions and see if they're equal. So I would just start with y divided by x and say, okay, for the first pair, y was 160 divided by x is 2. That equals 80. For the second pair, y was 560 divided by 7, which also equals 80. For the last pair, y was 800, x was 10, which also equals 80. So we got 80 every time. So the number of beats is 80 times greater than the number of seconds, or it's beating 80 times per second. So is this proportional? Yes, we got the same thing every time. B part, how many times will a hummingbird beat its wings in 60 seconds? So we could set up a proportion to figure this out. We know that in 2 seconds, let's just say that it beats 160 beats in 2 seconds. So that's the beats per time, the seconds. And we want to know how many times it'll beat its wings. That would be an unknown, let's call it x, in 60 seconds. So we have a proportion now to solve. So I'm going to cross multiply. 2 times x is 2x. 160 times 60 is 9,600. And then divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself. And we get that x is 4,800. So how many times will a hummingbird beat its wings in 60 seconds? 4,800 beats.